So we just wrapped week 5 of the powerlifting prep. Pretty solid week, I gotta say. Pretty dang solid. Let's jump right into it. Session 1, I was still fighting off my cold, but I was feeling good enough to where I was actually able to get into the gym and get back into training. Started off with squats, 275 for 3x4. Felt surprisingly good for being sick like a day earlier. I tried 305 and I got 2. My program called for me to go heavier, but as we all know, squats are kind of not hitting it recently, so we're doing what we can. After that, I did chest supported rows. I did a 6x6 on chest supported rows. This one did feel kind of uncomfortable just because I was kind of congested, and having all that weight, like pressure on your chest, didn't really feel all that great, but we got through it. Up next was front squats. I did 185 for a 4x3, and I felt strong. It actually was a really good front squat session, surprisingly. After that was 2x8 on close grip bench press. I did not feel great going into close grip bench press this session. I did 155, and when I was doing this, I wrote a note saying I feel nervous about how session 2 is going to go because I'm supposed to hit an RPE 9 single on bench press, and since I'm feeling weak doing close grip, who knows what my RPE 9 bench press will be. I then finished off with lat pull downs, reverse hyper, and tricep push downs. All right, session 2. This was a big one. No deadlifts this session. It was a bench only session. Program called for an RPE 9 single. If you're not familiar with RPE, it's rate of perceived exertion. So it's kind of a subjective thing where, an RPE 1, you're not really feeling any exertion of energy, but an RPE 10 is like you're going all out. So this called for an RPE 9, which is pretty freaking tough. I worked up to 250, which is my current PR, and it felt good. It moved quick. So I took the dive and tried 260. Drum roll. I hit it. New PR smashed on bench press. I've been stuck at 250 for so goddamn long. This felt really good to hit. There's no way it would have flown in competition. I gotta definitely tighten up the technique a bit, but I'm really happy I was able to get 260 on bench. I then did a drop set of 5x3 with 205. After that, went on to standing overhead press. I used the neutral grip bar. That's usually what I like using for standing overhead press. I don't know why, it just feels better. Then after that, I ended with tricep push downs and bicep curls. Another note, I did some additional grip training that day, specifically with the wrist wrench, and I kind of jacked up my wrist, and I'm still kind of feeling it now, but I kind of strained my wrist on that. So you win some, you lose some. Who cares? I got a PR, whatever. Session 3, practically identical to session 1. 3x4 with squats again. 275 felt kind of tough, but same thing. I did not film my chest supported rows, but it was the same as the first sesh, 6x6. I then did front squats. It was a 4x3. I upped the weight slightly, and I also kind of changed my positioning, or I held the bar a little different just to kind of avoid some wrist pain. After that, it was close grip bench press again. I swapped bars for the neutral grip bar. I was only able to do like 135, I think, but I was feeling pretty freaking sore from my bench PR the session prior, so went kind of like got it done. Then finished off with lat pull downs, dumbbell shoulder press, and reverse hyper extensions. Session 4, pause deadlifts. 4x3 with 345, followed up by regular deadlifts with 365. It's another 4x3. Someone bent the deadlift bar at some point this week, and I didn't notice it. So when I started using it, it kind of felt weird. I wasn't able to pull the slack out of the bar, and it was rotating all strange. So I ended up having to switch bars midway through. But yeah, kind of sucks because now we're down to one deadlift bar. The other one's bent. What are you going to do? Problems with being in a strongman gym, I guess. Then it was on to bench press. It called for an RPE 8 single, which I find kind of weird since we just did an RPE 9 single on bench press. I ended up hitting 235. Not complaining. It was a hefty bench, but I was still pretty cooked from my PR that I hit. I then did 185 for 5x3 as my back down sets. Finished the day with tricep pushdowns, bicep curls, and face pulls. All right, overall, there's been a few things. Number 1, hitting a bench PR, awesome. 2, I've noticed, especially on squats, that when I'm squatting, it feels a lot worse than when I go back to watch the video. There's a couple times where, you know, I'd hit a good weight and I thought, man, this moved horribly. And then I'd watch the video and I'd be like, wow, this moved great. What was I complaining about? So I think there's some weird mental blockage there. I don't know. Other than that, I'd say it went really well for being, you know, week after I got sick. Super stoked with my bench PR. Hoping I can match that in competition or do slightly better, you know. But still quite hyped. I've been stuck at 250 for a long time. Other than that, currently on week 6. I just did my first session today. So far, so good. So stay tuned. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching.